Stoicism teaches us the power of focusing only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, while releasing worry over things beyond our grasp. By embracing this mindset, you stop wasting energy on external events and begin living with more peace and clarity. Imagine the freedom of letting go of things you can't change and channeling your energy where it truly matters. This shift can radically transform your life, starting today. In this article, we'll explore 12 powerful Stoic principles for immediate life transformation, helping you build resilience, focus, and inner peace. From mastering self-discipline to embracing discomfort, these timeless strategies will guide you toward a calmer, more fulfilled life. Embrace discomfort and adversity. Building on the idea of focusing only on what we can control, the Stoic principle of embracing discomfort and adversity takes it a step further. Rather than avoiding life's challenges, Stoicism encourages us to lean into them, viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth. It's not about seeking hardship for the sake of suffering, but about understanding that hardship is an inevitable part of life and, when approached with the right mindset, can be a powerful teacher. Take the story of Maya, a young professional struggling with her career. She had always dreamt of becoming a leader in her field but was terrified of the idea of failure. Every time a challenging project came her way, her anxiety would spike. She feared that one mistake would define her, and so she avoided pushing her limits. But one day, after reading Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, she came across his idea that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This simple thought sparked a shift in her thinking. Instead of avoiding the discomfort of challenges, she decided to embrace them. Maya realized that each obstacle was an opportunity to grow stronger and more capable. She stopped running from adversity and began confronting it head-on, equipped with the understanding that discomfort itself was a tool for self-improvement. Whether it was taking on more difficult projects, engaging in uncomfortable conversations, or simply stretching her boundaries, Maya discovered that facing her fears didn't break her, it built her. This principle is deeply rooted in the teachings of Stoic philosophers like Seneca, who wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The more we face difficult situations, the more we build mental resilience and emotional fortitude. It's important to remember that discomfort doesn't have to be something we avoid. By embracing it, we shift our perspective on life's challenges, from something to fear to something to learn from. Every challenge you face is a chance to become a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. When we embrace discomfort, we stop seeing hardship as a setback and start viewing it as an integral part of our journey. It is through adversity that we often find our greatest strengths. By seeking growth through discomfort, we're not just surviving, we're thriving. So, the next time you face an uncomfortable situation, remember Maya's story. Rather than retreating into fear, take a deep breath and lean into the challenge. You may just discover a new level of strength you never thought possible. Life is not about avoiding the tough moments, but about growing through them. And the more you embrace adversity, the more you'll find that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Embrace discomfort. It's the path to your transformation. Practice gratitude daily. Building on the idea of embracing discomfort and adversity, one of the most transformative Stoic principles is the practice of gratitude. While it might seem counterintuitive to feel thankful in the midst of hardship, Stoicism teaches us that gratitude has the power to shift our perspective and transform even the most difficult situations. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to focus on the positive aspects of life, instead of being consumed by what we lack or what's going wrong. Consider the story of David, a man who once felt overwhelmed by the weight of life's challenges. He had lost his job during a difficult economic time and was struggling with his sense of purpose. Every day, he woke up feeling discouraged, thinking about all the things he no longer had: the job, the stability, the security. But then, one morning, while reading Seneca's letters, David came across a passage that shifted his mindset. A thankful heart is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all other virtues. It was in that moment that David realized gratitude was not just an emotional response but a practice, something that, when cultivated daily, could reshape his outlook on life. David decided to start small. Each morning, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. First, it was difficult. He felt like his list was thin, superficial. But soon, he started to notice the small blessings around him. The support of friends, the beautiful weather, the warm coffee he had in the morning. Slowly, his gratitude list grew, and so did his sense of appreciation for life. Even though his circumstances hadn't changed yet, David's inner world had. Gratitude, he discovered, was a powerful antidote to anxiety and despair. Practicing gratitude is more than just a fleeting feeling. It's a practice that requires intentionality and consistency. By shifting your focus from what's lacking in your life to what's already abundant, you reframe your experience of the world. Gratitude allows you to see the value in what you have, even in the midst of adversity. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. For David, gratitude didn't just make him feel better, it made him act better. He started to look for ways to help others who were also struggling, giving him a renewed sense of purpose. The more he practiced gratitude, the more he found reasons to feel hopeful, even in the midst of challenges. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated. Start each day by acknowledging the blessings you already have. Write them down in a journal, or simply reflect on them as you go about your morning. When you train yourself to appreciate life's small moments, you'll begin to notice an increase in overall joy and a decrease in negative thinking. Gratitude becomes the lens through which you see the world, transforming even the most mundane tasks into moments of beauty. By embracing gratitude, you not only change your mindset but also your reality. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment, helping you rise above the noise of stress, worry, and self-doubt. And just like David, you'll discover that no matter what life throws your way, you always have something to be thankful for. Let gratitude be the key to unlocking peace, contentment, and a life well lived. Cultivate inner peace through acceptance, building on the idea of practicing daily gratitude. The next Stoic principle that can transform your life is cultivating inner peace through acceptance. Acceptance, or what the Stoics called amor fati, the love of fate, is the practice of embracing whatever happens, good or bad, with a sense of calm and understanding. Rather than resisting or resenting life's challenges, acceptance teaches us to surrender to the flow of events, trusting that every experience, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity for growth. Take the story of Clara, a woman who was devastated when she unexpectedly lost her mother. The grief was overwhelming, and the pain seemed unbearable. Clara constantly found herself asking, "Why me? And why did this happen?" Her thoughts spiraled into feelings of helplessness. However, one day, while reading a passage from Marcus Aurelius, Clara came across a powerful idea. What happens to you is not as important as how you respond to it. This simple insight shifted her perspective. Instead of fighting against the reality of her loss, Clara began to accept it. Acceptance didn't mean that she no longer felt sadness. It meant that she allowed herself to experience the emotions without letting them control her. She started to see that her grief, while painful, was a natural part of life, one that everyone faces in some form. By embracing her feelings rather than fighting them, Clara found a sense of peace. The pain didn't go away overnight, but it became more bearable. She stopped resisting the inevitable and instead chose to accept it as part of her journey. Stoicism teaches us that our suffering comes not from the external events themselves, but from our judgment of those events. When we resist what happens to us, we create inner turmoil. However, when we accept things as they are, we allow ourselves to move forward with grace. This acceptance is not passive. It's an active choice to let go of control over things we cannot change, which frees us to focus on how we respond. Clara's experience highlights the power of this principle. Acceptance allows us to break free from the endless cycle of what-ifs and why me, and instead move into a space of peace. It is in accepting the things beyond our control that we find the freedom to focus on what we can influence: our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. In practice, cultivating acceptance might involve reminding yourself daily that some things are outside of your influence, and that's okay. Instead of fighting traffic or complaining about a difficult colleague, choose to accept those challenges as part of your reality. By shifting your perspective, you'll feel lighter, more focused, and more empowered to handle what comes your way. Like Clara, you may find that acceptance doesn't make the challenges go away, but it transforms your relationship with them. When you stop fighting against the inevitable, you'll begin to experience a profound sense of peace, knowing that you have the strength to face whatever comes, with calmness and grace. Acceptance isn't resignation. It's the key to unlocking lasting inner peace. Focus on the present moment, building on the power of acceptance. Another key Stoic principle for transforming your life is learning to focus on the present moment. The Stoics understood that the only time we truly have is now. The past is behind us, and the future is uncertain. Yet, we often waste precious energy either ruminating on past mistakes or anxiously anticipating what may come. By training ourselves to stay grounded in the present, we can find peace, clarity, and a deeper sense of control over our lives. Let's consider the story of Jack, a successful entrepreneur who, on the surface, seemed to have it all. He had a thriving business, a beautiful home, and a loving family. But despite all of this, Jack was often overwhelmed by anxiety. He constantly worried about the future of his business, what could go wrong, who his competitors were, what new trends might disrupt his success. In his personal life, Jack was so preoccupied with work that he found himself distracted and disconnected from the people he loved. He realized he was living in a constant state of what if, always thinking about things that hadn't happened yet. One evening, after another sleepless night filled with worry, Jack came across a passage in Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. Do not waste time on what you cannot control. Focus on what is within your power. Your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. That was a turning point for him. He realized that by constantly worrying about the future, he was missing out on the present, the very moments that mattered most. He wasn't truly living in his business or his relationships. He was living in a mental state of fear and anticipation. Jack decided to change his approach. The first thing he did was to practice mindfulness. Each day, he spent time in nature, away from his phone and business concerns, simply focusing on the sights, sounds, and sensations around him. Whether he was walking in the park or eating a meal, Jack made a conscious effort to be present in each moment, appreciating the small things without distraction. This shift in focus didn't just relieve his anxiety, it reconnected him with his sense of purpose and joy. By focusing on the present, Jack began to make clearer, more intentional decisions. Instead of worrying about potential problems that might arise, he took practical steps to address the tasks at hand. He learned that being present allowed him to handle challenges more effectively because he wasn't bogged down by imagined obstacles. Most importantly, he realized that life isn't something to rush through or fear, it's something to experience, fully and deeply, in the moment. The practice of being present can be a game changer. It allows you to truly engage with your environment, your work, and your relationships. It's easy to get lost in the cycle of stress, but by refocusing your mind on the now, you take back your power. The Stoics believe that true peace comes when we stop chasing after the future or clinging to the past, and instead, fully inhabit the present. To bring this principle into your life, start by practicing small moments of mindfulness. Take a few minutes each day to pause, breathe, and engage with your surroundings. Whether it's through meditation, mindful eating, or simply walking without distractions, you'll begin to notice how much more alive and engaged you feel. As you shift your focus to the present, you'll discover that the world becomes more vibrant and meaningful, and your ability to handle life's challenges will grow stronger. The present is all we truly have. Make it count. Live according to nature's laws, building on the idea of living in the present moment. Another powerful Stoic principle for transforming your life is living in harmony with nature's laws. The Stoics believed that understanding and aligning ourselves with the natural order of the universe was key to achieving inner peace and living a fulfilling life. This doesn't mean escaping into the wilderness or rejecting modern life, but rather accepting the rhythms of the world and our place within it. It's about recognizing that nature is not only external but internal, our own nature as human beings. Take the story of Sarah, a successful lawyer who found herself constantly stressed and disconnected from her true self. Despite her career achievements, she felt a deep sense of dissatisfaction, as if something was missing. One day, while reading about the Stoic idea of living according to nature, she had an epiphany. She realized that her stress was not just a product of her workload, but of living out of alignment with her true nature. She was living to meet external expectations rather than aligning with her own internal values and desires. Sarah decided to make a change. She took a step back and started to listen to herself. What truly made her happy? What brought her peace? She realized that her work, while important, wasn't bringing her the fulfillment she craved. Sarah began to make intentional changes in her life, focusing more on her personal well-being, spending time with loved ones, and reintroducing passions like painting and hiking that she had neglected. In doing so, she began to feel a sense of balance and fulfillment that had long been absent. Living in alignment with nature's laws is about recognizing the balance between our desires and our responsibilities. The Stoics believed that nature provides us with a blueprint for how to live virtuously. By understanding the cycles of life and embracing the natural world, we can become more attuned to our own needs and desires, allowing us to make decisions that are in harmony with our true selves. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the natural order in his meditations, reminding himself that he was just one part of a much larger system. What is the nature of the world? He would ask himself. What is the nature of a human being? By contemplating these questions, he sought to understand his place in the universe and to live with integrity, focusing on what he could control and accepting what he could not. In practice, living according to nature's laws means adopting a mindset of acceptance and flow. It means not fighting against life's natural rhythms but learning to move with them. When you resist the natural course of events, whether it's the changing seasons or the inevitable ups and downs of life, you create unnecessary friction. Instead, embrace change as a natural part of existence, and understand that each season of life has its purpose. For Sarah, living according to nature didn't mean rejecting her career, but rather finding a way to integrate her true self with her responsibilities. By listening to her inner voice and aligning with what truly mattered to her, she discovered a deep sense of peace that transformed her life. To apply this principle, start by observing the natural rhythms around you. Pay attention to how you feel throughout the day, the seasons, and the cycles of your own life. Embrace these rhythms rather than fighting against them, and allow yourself to flow with the natural course of events. By doing so, you'll find that life becomes less of a struggle and more of a harmonious journey, aligned with both your own nature and the greater order of the universe. Prioritize virtue over external success, building on the idea of living in harmony with nature's laws. The final Stoic principle that can completely transform your life is prioritizing virtue over external success. In a world that often measures success by wealth, status, or achievements, Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus from the external to the internal. True success, according to the Stoics, isn't defined by what we accumulate or what others think of us. It's defined by our character, our integrity, and our commitment to living virtuously. Take the story of Alex, a high-powered executive who had spent years climbing the corporate ladder. To the outside world, Alex seemed to have it all: a luxurious home, a prestigious job, and the respect of his peers. Yet, despite his outward success, Alex felt empty inside. He was constantly chasing the next promotion, the next deal, and the next recognition, but none of it brought him lasting happiness. In fact, it only intensified his anxiety and dissatisfaction. He realized that in his pursuit of external success, he had neglected what truly mattered: his own integrity and values. One day, after a particularly stressful business trip, Alex found himself alone in his hotel room, staring at a quote from Epictetus that had been sitting on his desk for weeks. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. It was a wake-up call. Alex realized that all the external markers of success he had been chasing were fleeting and ultimately unfulfilling. What truly mattered, he discovered, was living according to his values, being honest, compassionate, and true to himself. From that moment, Alex decided to change course. He started by redefining success, not by titles or bonuses, but by how he treated others and how well he aligned his actions with his values. He began to prioritize his health, spending quality time with family, and being more present in his relationships. At work, he shifted his focus from competing for promotions to helping his colleagues grow and succeed. In doing so, Alex found a deeper sense of fulfillment, not because his external success had changed, but because his internal success had skyrocketed. He was living a life based on virtue, not external validation. Stoicism teaches that external success is often out of our control, but virtue is always within our reach. The Stoics believe that cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline is the path to true happiness. When we focus on developing these qualities, we stop measuring ourselves against external standards and start living a life that is authentic and meaningful. In practice, prioritizing virtue over external success means asking yourself regularly, What is the right thing to do, regardless of the outcome? It means choosing integrity over convenience, kindness over selfishness, and courage over fear. It's about living with a sense of purpose, knowing that no matter what happens externally, your inner character remains intact. For Alex, the shift was profound. By focusing on virtue, he found a sense of peace and contentment that he had never experienced before. His relationships deepened, his work became more fulfilling, and he realized that the true measure of success lies not in what we have, but in who we are. To apply this principle, start by reflecting on your values and what truly matters to you. Begin to make decisions based on those values, rather than chasing external markers of success. Over time, you'll find that living a virtuous life leads to deeper fulfillment than any material achievement ever could. The Stoics remind us, true success lies not in what we accumulate, but in how we live. And when we prioritize virtue, we unlock a life of enduring happiness. If you found these Stoic principles helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us create more content that can inspire and transform lives like yours. Lightbulb, we'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with Stoic wisdom. So drop a comment below and share your own journey or any questions you might have. Memo, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos for more life-changing insights and tips to help you live with purpose, peace, and resilience. Your journey to personal growth starts here. Subscribe and stay tuned for more amazing content. Glowing Star, let's build a community of people who are ready to live a meaningful life. Speech balloon, flexed biceps.